Hey guys, Blake here from Into Mobile, and today we're going to do a quick little overview between the Nexus 1 and the new T-Mobile G2, which will be in stores on the 6th of this month. If you're a little antsy and want to get it sooner, you can get it at Radio Shack for $149.99 on a 2-year contract on October 3rd, so this Sunday, guys. So these phones are very similar to each other. They both share this kind of industrial looking design. The aesthetics of them are pretty nice. They look more machine-like than you'd find on some of these sleeker looking phones, but they still retain a pretty sleek look. Both phones are very similar. We got a 5 megapixel camera with a LED flash on both. They both share a unibody design. More so on the G2, this is just a small little strip that kind of wraps around on the Nexus 1. But other than that, they're pretty similar. They both have a different navigation method other than the touchscreen. There's the trackpad on the G2, and the Nexus 1 has the trackball. And actually, some people, you probably found out this if you've been checking up on the G2, the around the trackpad actually has an LED light, so it'll show you, it'll start lighting up, illuminating when you've missed a call or an email or something to that effect. But it's actually a lot more dim than you'd find on the trackball for the Nexus 1, so you might not notice it in direct sunlight, obviously. But it's just something that you might like. I was pretty happy to see that they didn't ignore that. Size-wise, the G2 is pretty much about 3 millimeters thicker. I think it's 2.66 millimeters thicker than the Nexus 1, and that's obviously to make way for this keyboard, which has this pretty unique Z hinge to it. Kind of lifts up. Kind of interesting. We're not sure if we like it yet, but we're still trying to get used to it to see if we can determine a pretty decent conclusion. So right here, the Nexus 1 has a 1 gigahertz Snapdragon processor, and you know it's always pretty much been setting the standards for a lot of these phones out there. And the G2 has one of the newer processors clocked at 800 megahertz, but it's more of a media focused CPU. It has, it's just one of those newer ones, and people have been saying that 800 megahertz, it's not going to be fast, but we've seen benchmarks before, and it's proved to be pretty fast. But that's exactly what we're going to do all over again. We're going to run Quadrant on both of these phones, and Quadrant's actually been misbehaving, so hopefully this will go over pretty well. But if not, we tried. Alright, so it looks like they both skipped the CPU tests, which I'm not sure what's going on right there. But they just moved right on to graphics. Alright, G2 is in the head a little bit. While the graphics performance on the G2 is actually pretty good, we're actually questioning if it's going to be somewhere better than the Hummingbird processor that we've seen on the Galaxy S devices. It seems like it suffers from a little lag here and there, and the frame rate can jump from really high to really low very quickly. It looks like the Nexus 1 is definitely catching up in that aspect, but let's see what we got here. Alright, got a benchmark results ready for the G2. We're just going to wait for G1, Nexus 1. And let's see, Nexus 1, we got a 1300, and the G2 just nailed a 1603. I'm glad I said that because it just decided to start going on its own and force close. Awesome. Alright. But other than that, that surely proves that 800 megahertz processor is definitely no chump and can definitely hold its own against the big dogs. But like I said, this is almost considered like a Nexus 1 Pro because it's almost a little too nice to be considered a G1 successor, I'd say. Alright, well that's just a quick little overview, guys. Hope you enjoyed.